like Shane said, you're feeling good, get your money in, and that's the same with the win bets over under, Shane, for the SEC East. And let's just start at the top like we did with the West for Alabama. No surprise, the Georgia Bulldogs, Shane, over under 11.5 wins. So again, you're betting, and this is just regular season, doesn't count bowl games, doesn't count SEC championship, anything like that. So you're basically betting, will the Georgia Bulldogs go undefeated, or will they drop a single game during the regular season? And let's go down the schedule like we did for the West teams here. And I should have come prepared. I'm pulling it up.
I've even got it up, man. Look at this.
Well,
this is why we should pod earlier in the day, Mike.
All right, right out the gate, of course, we've already hit on it. Oregon Ducks in Atlanta. The Bulldogs, huge favorites in that game. Then they come home for the home opener against Samford. Again, that's going to be a pick-your-score type ball game.
Not Stanford, Samford, okay? Snoozer right there. That's when you schedule your wedding on, what day is that again? September 10th.
Now, maybe a little bit of a trap game here, Shane. Week 3 at South Carolina. We'll see how good the Gamecocks start the season. Then Georgia comes back home for Kent State. Then they go on the road at Missouri, host Auburn, host Vanderbilt. Then they'll have 2 weeks to prepare for Florida, which is, of course, always in Jacksonville. Then we got home against Tennessee, at Mississippi State. That's a tricky one. At Kentucky, which may be the battle for the SEC East. And then finally, Georgia Tech at home. Doesn't really matter where they're playing Georgia Tech. It's a home game. But, yeah, so basically you're saying, will Georgia drop one of these games? What do you think, over or under for Cousin Shane?
I mean, we've talked about Georgia's schedule several times this offseason so far, and the more I look at this schedule, the more I just can't find outs. You know, I keep trying to create narratives and fun stories, and they're even doing it now. It's like, who's going to give Georgia? I saw what's his name, Mike Griffin. Was it him and Paul Feinbaum? Yeah, they were talking. You know, who can give Georgia a fit? Is it the Florida Gators or is it the Tennessee Vols? And you know, that's it. Who can give them a fit? Who can keep it within a couple of scores? I think this is another year that Georgia steamrolls the SEC. I think if there was any chance of getting these guys off guard, it was going to be early in the season, and I just don't think Oregon or South Carolina is going to be enough to trip them up. So I got 12-0, man, and I am very, very confident in this. In fact, I have $100. I'm going to put let's do 95. I'm 95% confident that Georgia goes undefeated.
Ooh, all right. I like this, Shane, right off the bat, because I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going under for the Georgia Bulldogs. And, you know, not that I'm disagreeing here, that I think Georgia should be the best team in the East. And there's a very good chance that they do go undefeated, given the talent that they have. And, hell, they're defending national champions for a reason. But, you know, there's a couple tricky games here, Shane. I keep circling that at South Carolina. You know, Florida is always an interesting game. Tennessee, you know, Josh Heupel and company had some success against the Bulldogs. But this back-to-back in November, at Mississippi State, at Kentucky, you know, if they played those 100 times, I think, yeah, Georgia probably is undefeated. Let's go that full stretch here. Let's go 4 games. I'm looking at 4 games, Shane, because this is how I'm kind of rationalizing it here. Florida, Tennessee, at Mississippi State, at Kentucky. I think that's a little bit tougher stretch than you're giving it credit for. I still understand Georgia's going to be favored in every one of those games, and they're fully capable of beating all of them. But I'm going to say they lose one of those. So I'm going with the under. In my confidence level, I'm putting $60 on this one. That's so again, I'm not 95 in it like Cousin Shane. I'm not saying this is a lock of the week or anything, but I just think there's a better chance than not that Georgia slips up somewhere on this schedule.
Yeah. I mean, it is a tough stretch, but I mean, again, you're coming off a bye when you face the Florida Gators. You got Tennessee at home. I understand Mississippi State's a tough place to play, and Kentucky, but again, this is a Georgia Bulldog team that's not had problems with these guys in many years. So,
Right.
well, not that they played Mississippi State that often, but you know what I mean. I just don't see it. Like if I were to take those games, that stretch of games that you're talking about, and I were to put it at the front of the season, yes, I could see potentially a slip up. But I think by the time we hit late October, I mean, these guys, they're gonna have their identity, and they're gonna be the most physical, dominating team on any schedule. I mean, if you look at it, there's no way you can say Georgia can be outplayed or outmanned at any of these games. Tennessee's I guess if you were to put an asterisk by it, Tennessee is one of those programs, and not just because I love them, but because they can score a lot of points in a hurry. That's definitely one I could see disrupting things. Maybe catching Mississippi State with that crowd, but it's a tough, man. I mean, the stars got to be aligned, because this is a repeat national champ contender, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, hell, even if they do drop a game, they'll probably still go to the Atlanta for the SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
They win that, they're going to punch their ticket, no doubt, to the college football playoffs once again.